Carpenter Shop. My name's Donald. Today I'm going to be working on this Victrola. It's a model 9A, which was made between 1917 and 1918, from what I can find out. It has a plate in there, and I looked up the serial number to get the date on it. And it has a few problems. We're going to be fixing it and restoring the outside cabinet, not to its original, but just cleaning it up and refinishing like I should an antique. But has all the parts and pieces in here. Victrola number 2 head, and the spring, I believe, is broken in it, because when I crank it I can hear it slipping like a clock. So we'll get into that and hopefully we'll get this thing going. All right, first of all, take this out here. Okay, can go this way. Oh, and something just fell off. That's interesting. We'll take this out. It does just slide out like that. And what fell? Well, a spring. I don't want to damage anything down there. A spring fell. This, oh boy. Somebody had this apart already, because that Thank you, puppy, for making all that noise. Well, this has a spring on it here, which I'm guessing goes with this little thing under here that I've seen it before. I'm going to put that spring right there, leave everything just like it is right now. See what we can do about fixing this this spring. All right, we'll get her going again. Kind of give you the once over. See down inside here, bunch of different needles, used needles. Ugh. And we've got a lot of brand new ones up here in the tray, which is good. This is just a horn section. There's some stuff trapped down in there, so with all kinds of writing in there, numbers and such. So we'll get as much information as we can on it. And then looking at the outside, there's old Victrola. Looking at the outside, I'll show you once around it. It's just dry. It's really not in too bad a shape. I've seen some in really bad. All right, well, let's get to work on it. Here I've just flipped over the motor where it's exposed, and I'm going to be taking it apart, and I'll bring you with me through the process of checking the spring out. And I've also noticed that the governor is missing a piece. All right, just here, I've got the crank arm in, trying to get the little click to come up so that I can take the tension off the springs. So I don't want to take this apart with the springs tension. That could be dangerous. So I took a couple other pieces off here, the screws, and what's going to happen is I'm going to have to take these here loose. It does look like somebody's had it off, so I'll probably have to order a spring or such, which is okay. Okay, now we got got something going on here. Let's flip it over easily. Oh, we have some pads too. Front pads. Well, that one's going to stay on. And these two is going to come off. Okay, now we want to be real careful with this. This has something to do with the adjustment. I'm going to take this off for just a minute. You can see a very small nut. There's the nut. Okay. Seems to work. Okay, it's just like a clock hand is what it is. That's what I thought. We'll straighten and clean all of this stuff. There is 3 little pieces. It's the hand itself, a washer, and the nut that goes on it. The little adjustment is on the piece itself in here. Anyway, that came off real nice. Tells you all the places to oil it up. Fun. Keep proper care of that. This, I'm gonna get me a little something to put this in, because that's gonna be fun to forget what I did with. Oh, shoot, dog. That's what's the matter here, too. Here I just realized that the piece of the governor is missing and a couple of the springs on the governor's broke. So I'm going to either have to replace these, or I can find an older one that I had, a little earlier model, and try to take them off of it if it'll work. So I'll be hunting that up real quick. Take this one right here on. Okay. That spring has been released. See a little pressure point here. Well, I wasn't filming when I knocked the shaft out. Got a little bit ahead of myself trying to get this cleaned up so I don't get grease all over the place. And I still did anyway, but let me kind of show you what I did. This had a set screw right here on this side. It's a little flathead, just a standard screwdriver. I took it out, set it aside, and I took, I have little different sized rods and a little ball peen, and I just tapped it until it went through. Now before I did, I made sure that there was no pressure on the spring. A little bit of it came loose, so be very cautious. If your spring is all wound up, you need to find the way to release your spring before you take it apart. It could be dangerous. So I tapped that all the way out. I took a pair of pliers, not grabbing it on the shaft. I just grabbed it on the very end here, and I just wiggled it until it came out. And there's a little part where it was held in on the other side. So I'll set that aside. Okay. I'm just going to take this straight off here together so as I don't lose anything. And clean it. So glad we're able to do this. This is the release for the spring on that side. Can you see it over there? Okay, yeah, you can see it right there. All right, so I'm gonna set this piece aside for right now, and because I'm gonna have to do work don't know if you can see the governor. See that? One of those weights are missing off of here, which means it's pretty useless right now. Until I can get that fixed. Okay, I hear that little spring in there, and I see little metal pieces. That ain't good. I'm taking that out. Get over here where you can see me. I'm taking this out. That's the other side, obviously. You can see where them two lines go together, where it holds the spring on the inside. Rag. You see the spring on the inside. It's chomping at the bit trying to get out of there, ain't it? Okay, here's our holder. Okay, whoop, well, it popped off. There's just a little point where I stuck my screwdriver in the side, found the edge of it, popped it off, and it just pretty much popped out by itself. So just be careful. Real lightly, don't want to damage anything. Okay, so this side just comes out, and there's my spring. Okay, and you know what? Don't see anything broke on that. Well, that makes my head wonder. May have just been undone. May have just been undone. Here I tried to use my grandfather clock spring winder, the real old one that I had, and I just couldn't get it to fit in there right to take the spring out. So I ended up just taking it out by hand, and I suggest wearing some protection. So just be real careful. I did take the first one out without filming, but the second one, I'm taking it out and showing you kind of how I do it, just very, very slowly. All right, well, we'll just use these. This is something that I don't recommend doing yourself if you don't know what you're doing. You really don't want to pull this out quickly because the end of the spring will whip out and either damage something, it could cause it to break, just snap cold easily, or take your eye out. So, or put a good cut on your skin. So it is a dangerous thing, and I suggest using maybe heavy leather gloves like I had earlier. Just take it slow and easy if you insist on having to do it yourself, like me. Very gently. And that's what's broken there. Interesting. Oh, heck, it is the other one that's broke. See this one right here? That's what's broke right here. This little piece. I'm just cleaning out a little bit of the heavy grease. It really wasn't too bad. And I'll be repacking it with some new grease. So one of them cranked this way, yeah, and wound this, and this barrel got tight, wound the spring the other way, and ran the device. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. They're geniuses, I tell you. And then we're back. Here's what I decided to do. I'm cutting the spring. Since it's just broke on the very end, I could probably try to get away with fixing it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I usually don't have very good luck with this type of spring, but I'm going to clip it and drill it and see if I can't get it to work. Alright, that'll be the first hole. Looks like about this size right here. If I'm able to do this, I don't even know if it's going to work. Okay. Here, part of that. Okay. I'm guessing I know what I'm doing now. Not really. Shoot. I just said that. Make y'all feel better doing it for a second. Okay. Now, just here I'm going to start winding the spring back in, the one on the bottom of the can. There's two springs, one goes clockwise and one goes counterclockwise. So I'm putting the clockwise one goes in first, and I had to kind of clean up the button that goes where it attaches like a clock spring. The attachment point was bent a little bit, but it was the other one towards the outside that was broke. And normally if it's broke in the middle of the spring, you can't use it. I would have had to get another spring. Fortunately, it broke right at the end, so I tried something that really hasn't worked for me before on clocks, but I tried cutting the spring and drilling it to where it would go in correctly, and it did. So I was happy that that worked. I just wanted to kind of show that you don't need any special tools to complete a project like this. You just got to have the want to and a lot of patience. Don't quote me on this. Just wind it. Okay. Yeah, it worked. Okay. Now, let's see the inside of this. That little piece right there is going to fit on just like that. And I'm reckoning it ain't going to go that way. It's going to go this way. Beat that down a little bit. That's the way it sits in there. Just like that. All right. Alright, I'm just packing it up in here just to get it around the outside, squish it in here and in between some. The next 100 years will be set for grease. Now that I have the grease packed in the first part of it, down below, I'm dropping the center divider in, and that divides the two springs. And now for the other spring. Alright, well that just sets right down on top of that other one. But this other spring is going to go the opposite way. Fun. And you get to watch me put it in. Okay, let's see if this here is going to work. And it did. Praise the Lord. Get that dirty grease out of there. Okay. Take this one down inside there. Boy, this thing's sure messy, ain't it? Here I'm just putting the ring in that holds everything together. And this piece right here is a very interesting piece, isn't it? Okay, we're going to put a little bit of grease on this one, and this one. Okay, this beastimus is going to go here like as this here. See where it's got the hole in it? That goes to the far outside for this. Need to take that out so I can get this in. This in. The ring keeper fell off, but I put it back on in the end. I love it. Okay, whew, we found the hole. Let's test her. Running fine. I'm just putting a little bit of oil on the governor slide so that it'll turn and operate correctly. I'm just adjusting these governor screws on the same thing. I'm adjusting the governor. I'll probably have to readjust it once I get the gauge set up. Okay. Okay. It goes this way. This is the broken one that was in this one that I'm fixing, and I had an old one with parts. So I used this one. I just undid this screw and this screw, and it just slid right out. And then I slid the new one in. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to affect it. If I have to, I'll take it back out very easily. But I'm not sure how that's going to affect it. Oh, that just goes in there very... Oh! I just realized something. There's a part that I'm seeing from the inside when I open the doors, and it's a round piece like this. I'll bet it's the other one of these. Let me go search. I'll be right back. All right, I've taken it outside on some flat tubs I have stacked out here. And I just wanted to show you right here. Where is it? Oh, right here. There's a little dot of something there. And I'm guessing it's that little bell of the... oh, shoot. Well, I guess I better stop that. It looks a lot worse than it is because I've got this thing like super magnified, but it's really not good at all. But all right, so here's what we're gonna do. I am going to one-handed set this thing up like so. And well, we got this piece out of it. Now let's see if I can hook it up to this here and use it. So get in here as close as I can to it. Okay, not too close up, but yeah. All right. Wow. Never knew this was going to turn into that. So I wonder. That one's loose too. I better save myself some stress and take this off first. Well, after I took it apart, I noticed that the metal the spring is one piece. I thought the screw kind of held them together, so I would have to take the other one apart, and by chance if I broke it, then I'd be without one at all. So I decided to leave the other one on, and it worked great. Well, it's working really good. I got it together down below. Now I'm just going to polish up the inside and work on refinishing the outside. You can see it's pretty dry. Ain't been polished in a long time. I'm going to I think I'm going to put a little bit of finish restore on it because it's in pretty bad shape. We can see when nobody did anything to it for a while. Let's take this crank arm off right now. Okay. And go over it lightly with the 600. Just get some of the nits and the paints and just some of the soot off the top. And I'm not going past the finish really. There's still a very, very nice patina look underneath what I'm doing. And we'll keep it that way. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is pretty easy to do with just about anything. Kind of just refresh it, you know. If you're not really good at refinishing stuff, you can do what I'm going to do right here and make it look like you did. A very, very light water solution on a rag will help get this dust off before I put the stuff on it. Okay, I'm just using a little bit of Restore Finish. This stuff ain't great on everything, but on some things like this, you don't want to pour it directly on the cabinet. And that way, we're still getting that you know, that patinaed antique look on the phonograph itself. Okay, oh yeah, that's looking pretty, isn't it? Oh, nation. Super simple to use. Wipe off all your excess. You just go over everything, you know. Can't hurt it now. And you just, what it's doing is if you put it on even, it's melding the finish that's on there, kind of melding out the very fine hairline cracks and such and scuffs, and melting it back into a finish. You see, I missed a little bit of the paint. Right down there, it's okay. That's okay. It's going to be pretty anyhow. I'll show you around the whole thing when I'm done. They have different colors. You want to pick the color of the piece that you're doing. You know, they have very, very light, like oak, light oak pieces. different things like that. So it's up to you to pick which color you want, what flavor. And you can go over, you know, metal real light. That doesn't hurt nothing. Yeah, I missed a little bit of paint that's down below. Yeah, I have to go back over. Now, I can't go back and sand it while it's wet. Well, this is wet, so it needs to dry overnight. These knobs, you know, they can go right back on. Ain't gonna hurt it. Not one bit. A little wax on the inside. And we can re-wax the whole thing when it's done. That beeswax is good for, oh, it's all-purpose. Good stuff. All right, well. All right, I finally figured out how this went back together. I had to look it up because I really didn't know. But I did find the keeper inside the needle box, and everything went back together great. So I'll give her one last around the block here, and then I'll let you hear it. Just wanted to show you that the spring was working well. That side of it.